Hello people, in this video I'm going to be showcasing a combination lock design that I made, which has a bunch of cool features, and I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, so this room here is kind of the outside room where you would have this is open to everyone. For example, if you're on a server and you don't want people to get inside your secret room, or not really secret, but inside your treasure room, vault, or whatever. This is your room they get to here, and then there's the combination input and a big door. So on the other side here, this is on the inside of the treasure room or whatever you want it to be. And there's a bunch of controls here. There's two things there, two controls here, and then there's a display up there, and I'll be explaining what all of these do. So over here, we have two functions. You can generate a new combination, or you can reset the combination lock. And what I really liked about this combination lock is, let's say for example, you put in the combination over here, just you enter your combination, but then your friend walks in behind you or something, and then they see the combination, and now you want to change the combination because, well, you don't want anyone else to know. So the cool thing here is you can actually generate a new random combination just by hitting the note block. And the new combination, or the current one, actually no, this isn't the, no, it is the current one. The current combination, the correct one, will be shown up here. So if I, for example, generate a new combination, it will turn on and then some stuff will happen. And okay, let's see. So all of them are on except for the first and fourth one. So let's go back over to the other side here. So if I enter the correct combination, which should be this, then after a little bit of delay we should see, yep, that our door will open up. And once we go through, the combination will stay there, but then that is something that we can actually do. Well, I'll show you. So we can also lock the door closed and toggle it. So these functions, they kind of are a little bit tricky to get used to, but they work. So you can lock the door closed, which essentially what this does, after a little bit of delay, the door will close, and then there will be no way to open it, even if the correct combination is still out there. So now the door is completely locked shut, and then you can just see we have a flying machine base door there. And so let's say the door is open, so it should open. Yep. But then if, for example, there's an incorrect combination or something, and you're on the inside here, then that is what the other control is there for. So it always takes a little bit more of a delay for it to close because there's a pulse extender, which I'll show in a bit. So here, if I'm, for example, stuck in here, I can just toggle the door with that, and then after a bit of delay, it'll open up. And then I can just open and close it from there, regardless of whether the combination is right or not. And then the lock door close will just close it no matter what, and then the toggle door won't work either. So, that's those controls. And then the reset combination lock here is a pretty, well, it's pretty useful. It resets just about everything in the system. So if we look up there, you can see it will put everything back to normal. And over here, our inputted combination has also been reset. And actually, after it's been reset, you can actually see, if you just turn all of these to on, then the door will actually open, just because that's what it is by default. But then, of course, you can just generate a new combination. And then, of course, the door will close because the combination out here is no longer correct. And I guess let's start looking at how the system works. So let's reset everything, just that it all goes back to normal. Okay, so I guess let's start over with the actual system that detects whether the combination is right or not. So it's actually pretty compact and simple here. Well, this system here at least. So the way that it works, let's just get rid of this really quickly. Let's just set that to air. So we can see the redstone here. When you select a note block, the observer here will push this up, just like that. This observer detects the note block, and then it pushes that up so that you can see that it's on. It detects the composter level with the comparator, and then there's two more observers that observe that observer to power the note block, which then powers this piston because the note block is the solid block, and then that will also push that up, and then this comparator will detect that composter and power this or depower this torch, but the rest of these torches are still on, so the redstone line is still on. And then over here is the randomizer. And so what happens when you generate a new combination is it just sends a pulse here, and all of these are just simple randomizers, non-stackable item and a stackable item, which together only the non-stackable items will put a redstone signal of 3, signal strength of 3. And of course droppers are random, so it'll just randomly put one of these too, which means all of these 8 sections have a 1 in 2 chance of being on or off. So there's a chance that all of them would be on when you generate a combination, and there's a chance that all of them would stay off when you generate a new combination. And then what happens after that is there's a monostable circuit, so it just generates a 1-tick pulse, and then that actually powers these pistons as well, which this side powers with these composters. And I guess let's just turn that back off for a bit. First, I just want to show this. When this 1-tick pulse goes, it'll send 2 pulses through this observer line. And what this part does up here is there's kind of a 2-block thick area of observers, and what it does is it makes it so that this observer on the inside here is actually on the outside over here. It's kind of a cool system. And then over here there's another monostable circuit, and it generates another 1-tick pulse, and then it just powers it. Well, actually Bud powers the piston and the note block updates it. And then since sticky pistons spit out their block with a 1-tick pulse, since there's a 1-tick pulse here, even though, well, the observers send 2 pulses, as I said, so the first one will give a pulse through there and put the block up there, then the second one will make the piston retract the block back down, resetting that, and then the 1-tick pulse here will make the piston shoot out its block, which then just turns that off. Okay, so let's go over what happens over here. So when the randomizer outputs a signal here, it will give a 1-tick pulse through these observers, and the ones that do get a signal through there will get powered up like that, and then now this torch is off. But then what happens here is if you turn on this one, which is meant to be off because it's already in the correct state, the way that this works is we want all these torches to be off. So since that one's already off, that one's in the correct state, but if we do this, now it turns back on because it's supposed to be off, but it's turned back on. And then, for example, over here, that one was already in the off state, so by doing that we turned it on. But if this piston was powered, then it would already be on or off, and then this would turn it back on, same as this one over here. So it's just a pretty simple system. So anyways, the way that this display over here works is you see that all of them are by default on, so when it gets a pulse it turns it off, and that is because when this gets a pulse from the randomizer, it will send an output there and then turn the correct slice off, because over here it will also change the output of this, so that means that this lamp is already off and it's in the correct state, so it needs to be off as well. And so for example here, because this one is already up, for the randomizer didn't actually activate it, but let's just say that it did. So that one's already in the correct state, which means that if we turn all these on, then our door will open. So let's reset everything and let's go over how the door itself actually works. So when all these torches are off, as we saw, this redstone line will be off as well. And then when that happens, let's just let our door over there close, this torch will turn on, turning this redstone on, which then also powers this repeater, which powers a pulse extender, which is over here, and then that will keep this piston activated for longer. And what this pulse extender is there for is so that you can't just spam any of the things like this to turn it on and off. It just gives the door enough time to close all the way before it'll open again. Or no, to open all the way before it closes again, just that nothing breaks. And then this system over here, a bunch of this redstone is just for the door itself. These pistons here just give an update to these observers when the door is in its open position. So it just gives these observers, well actually, these pistons activate, giving these observers, or no, these observers an update. So it extends, actually no, these pistons over here extend first, giving these observers an update, and then this piston, or then these pistons over here activate, giving these observers an update, making the whole door close all the way. I know that's kind of tricky. It's a little, redstone's all just compact. Well, not really compact, it's just a mess. And then anyways, over here, these pistons are already ready to give these observers an update so that they can close, because this is these observers will cause the whole door to close. So if we track this redstone line, this is what is powering it. It's this repeater here, so there's a monostable circuit. And then, so you can see this redstone block will power that on the next time, and then it will give that an update. And then over here we have a torch, so this piston's already in the up state, which means when this redstone block is out, this torch will turn off. So when it goes back to its in position, then it will turn on again, giving a pulse, and then giving a pulse to these pistons and these pistons. And then, so it's not too complicated. So that's just about all the door redstone. And then let's go over the reset system. So here we get an output of this redstone line, and then one line goes up here, and then there's a bit of a pulse extender, and then it just pushes all these, well, it bud powers all these pistons here, and puts them on their off state, and then it or pushes them out, and then pulls everything back in just to make sure that everything's in the same state again. And then down here with the reset system, there's also a redstone line that goes here, and then there it just powers this redstone line here, which if we power this, you can see that all the pistons here activate because they're actually being bud powered. And then since everything, well, actually all the torches turned off right now, so the door opened, and everything's being bud powered right now. Well, actually not everything. This redstone line powers these pistons normally, and then it bud powers these pistons with a note block there to update it. And then when it turns off after a little, everything is just back in its normal state. All the lamps are off, and all the torches are back in their on position, and everything is back to normal. Then you can see the door will close, and everything is back as it should be. So this system here could actually be expanded, I believe, up to 15 blocks, and maybe even more if there was a way to somehow wire the redstone to keep going. And, well, it's tileable, as you can see here. I just did 8 sections, which gives me 256 different combinations, but with 15 I believe you would get around, well, a few thousand, which is a lot more. So the more modules you give, the more combinations you can have. And then the randomizer, again, you just kind of do the same system. And then the display might be a bit more difficult, but it shouldn't be too bad. Actually, no, the display, I don't think it would really be too difficult. You just expand it. Anyways, I think it's a pretty cool system. And then the flying machines, it's a pretty simple design, just the simple two-way ones with the observers there, and then an extension here, just with dark oak there, and then barrels at the end because they're not movable. So anyways, it's a pretty cool system, and if you're wondering what I actually made this for, because you can see it's part of a build actually, it's something that I've been working on for quite a while. It's a huge build. Anyways, you might see that coming on the channel soon, so remember to like and subscribe if you want to see that. Also, you can let me know in the comments what you thought of this build, or what you think of these just shorter redstone explanation videos or showcases of just something that I've made. Anyways, also you can leave a comment about any improvements that you think there could be. Of course, you could try to make this maybe dustless to improve with lag, or just compact the redstone. It's pretty, well, it's a big mess. Anyways, you can do that. Well, I guess with that, have a good day, everyone, and goodbye.